It only took 3 years for MrBeast's viral burger empire to go from one of the fastest growing restaurant launches in internet history to a public legal battle and an attempted shutdown. It was supposed to change fast food forever. No restaurants, no storefronts, no overhead. Just the biggest YouTuber on the planet and an army of delivery drivers. Within days, orders flooded in. Thousands of locations, millions in revenue. A burger empire built entirely on the internet. But just as quickly as it exploded, the cracks began to show. Complaints, refunds, lawsuits, and eventually, a public fallout between MrBeast and the company running the entire operation. How does a brand go from viral goldmine to being publicly disowned by its own founder? This is how Beast Burger fell apart. In December 2020, MrBeast, real name Jimmy Donaldson, launched MrBeast Burger in partnership with a company called Virtual Dining Concepts. The concept was simple and at the time, revolutionary. Instead of building restaurants, Beast Burger would operate as a ghost kitchen brand. Existing restaurants across the United States would prepare Beast Burger menu items out of their own kitchens. Orders would come through delivery apps like Uber Eats and DoorDash. This allowed the brand to scale instantly. Within months, MrBeast Burger expanded to over 1,000 locations across North America, Europe, and beyond. At one point, reports suggested it had grown to more than 1,700 virtual locations worldwide. For a food brand launched during a global pandemic, that scale was unprecedented. The marketing engine behind it was obvious. MrBeast wasn't just a YouTuber, he was one of the most viewed creators on Earth. His launch video alone generated tens of millions of views. Fans weren't just buying burgers, they were buying into the MrBeast brand. And early numbers looked strong. In its first few months, the company reportedly generated millions in revenue. The low overhead model meant rapid expansion without traditional franchise build-out costs. But the ghost kitchen model had a hidden flaw: control. Because Beast Burger didn't operate its own kitchens, it relied on third-party restaurants to prepare the food correctly. That meant quality varied wildly depending on location. Almost immediately, customer complaints began surfacing online. Undercooked burgers, burnt buns, missing items, sloppy packaging, cold food. On social media, customers posted photos of inconsistent meals. Some locations delivered acceptable quality, others did not. When you attach one of the biggest creator brands in the world to a product, expectations are high, and inconsistency spreads fast online. As the brand expanded aggressively, quality control became harder to manage. Virtual Dining Concepts handled operations, logistics, and partnerships. MrBeast licensed his name and promoted the brand. But as complaints mounted, the separation between brand and operations blurred in the eyes of customers. To the public, it was MrBeast's burger. Behind the scenes, tension was growing. By 2022 and into 2023, reviews across platforms showed a noticeable pattern: highly inconsistent ratings depending on city and kitchen partner. Some locations performed well, others damaged the brand. The ghost kitchen model, while efficient for scaling, made standardization extremely difficult. Unlike McDonald's or other traditional chains that control supply chains, training, and facilities, Beast Burger relied on independent operators with varying standards. And then the situation escalated. In 2023, MrBeast filed a lawsuit against Virtual Dining Concepts, seeking to terminate the partnership. In legal filings, he alleged that the company prioritized rapid expansion over food quality, harming his brand reputation. He claimed the business had irreparably damaged his brand through poor execution and lack of quality control. Virtual Dining Concepts responded with its own countersuit, alleging breach of contract and claiming the brand generated over $100 million in revenue. The partnership had turned into a legal battle. Publicly, MrBeast stated he wanted to shut down Beast Burger because he could no longer ensure product quality. He emphasized that he had little operational control under the agreement structure. For a creator whose brand is built on high production value and audience trust, that lack of control was a major risk. And here's where the real business lesson emerges. Beast Burger's explosive launch was powered by attention, not infrastructure. The model allowed instant global scale, but it sacrificed operational oversight. In traditional franchising, growth is slower because systems must be standardized. Ghost kitchens invert that formula: scale first, refine later. But in food service, inconsistency can permanently damage perception. As legal disputes unfolded, the brand's momentum slowed. Locations gradually reduced. Public promotion decreased. Eventually, MrBeast shifted focus heavily toward another venture: Feastables, his snack and chocolate brand. Unlike Beast Burger, Feastables operates through more traditional manufacturing and distribution channels, allowing greater quality control. The contrast between the two ventures is striking. One relied on decentralized kitchens and third-party execution. The other relies on centralized production and packaged goods distribution. One faced lawsuits and public shutdown attempts. The other expanded into major retailers like Walmart and international markets. Beast Burger didn't fail because there was no demand. It failed because demand alone isn't enough. Operational consistency determines longevity. The ghost kitchen model itself isn't inherently flawed. Many delivery-only brands operate successfully. But attaching a global creator brand to a decentralized system magnifies every mistake. When a random local kitchen overcooks fries, it's a bad review. When that kitchen is representing one of the largest YouTubers in the world, it becomes a viral thread. By late 2023, Beast Burger's future remained uncertain amid ongoing legal disputes. MrBeast publicly distanced himself from the brand, stating he wanted it shut down. For fans, the story felt abrupt. For business analysts, it felt predictable. Rapid scaling without operational control creates structural fragility. And in this case, the very feature that made Beast Burger revolutionary, its ability to launch thousands of locations instantly, also made it impossible to manage consistently. It was a digital-first fast food empire built at internet speed. But restaurants don't operate at internet speed. They operate on supply chains, staff training, quality checks, and process repetition. When those layers aren't unified under one system, cracks form. Beast Burger was never a traditional restaurant chain. It was a licensing machine powered by attention. And attention can build a brand overnight, but it cannot cook the burger. The legal battle highlighted another key risk in creator-led ventures: partnership structure. When creators license their name rather than control operations, they trade ownership for scale. That trade can be profitable. It can also limit control when things go wrong. Beast Burger reportedly generated tens of millions in revenue during its peak. But revenue alone doesn't equal brand equity. For MrBeast, long-term brand trust likely outweighed short-term licensing income. That's why the public attempt to exit the partnership became so visible. This wasn't a bankruptcy collapse. It was a structural breakdown between brand and execution. A viral empire that couldn't maintain uniform standards across hundreds of independent kitchens. And in modern markets, inconsistency spreads faster than advertising. The story of Beast Burger isn't about burgers. It's about scale without control. It's about the difference between audience power and operational power. And it's about what happens when internet momentum collides with real-world logistics. Because building hype is easy for someone with 100 million subscribers. Maintaining operational excellence across 1,000 kitchens is something else entirely. The fall of Beast Burger serves as a reminder. Virality can launch a company, but infrastructure sustains it. And when those two forces aren't aligned, even the biggest names on the internet can't prevent the cracks from widening. In business, growth is impressive. Control is essential. And sometimes, the cost of success is realizing that scale without structure is temporary. If you want more deep dives into viral empires, business collapses, and the financial risks behind internet-driven brands, subscribe to Cost of Success.